Hey everyone, this is Farisight Ferocity coming to you from the Riverside studio on the Casa De Ludus podcast. Today we have a special guest, but first, let's hit you with some news to start it off. Destiny 2 is finally nerfing its most broken ultimate, Well of Radiance, which originally, when stepping into its effect pool, granted for 20 seconds a 25% damage buff and a huge 50% damage reduction, which any gamer will tell you is a huge benefit in in-game content of any game. It will now have the following changes. It only grants 8 seconds of the effect when exiting the pool, reduced survivability while standing in the pool, reduced healing per second from 100 to 50, increased heal on cast from 400 to 300, reduced non-boss combat resistance, reduced non-boss combat reduced non-boss combat resistance from 40% to 20%, reduced boss combat resistance from 40% to 10%, and an increase of maximum orbs of power from defeating targets in the well from 4 to 5. Viture raised over 3 million to roll out their new glasses, the Viture 1 XR/AR glasses, which when worn replicate a massive 135-inch display with a 120 Hz refresh rate and 4,000 nits of brightness. Through a mobile deck, which is compatible with all standard USB displays, you can connect to several different devices. The mobile deck is provided with the glasses, and the set costs $459. Fortnite news. Fortnite released a trailer on Twitter with a monster truck running over a blue bus. The tweet was captioned, "Might be a new bus in town," to which FN Assistance replied, "We about to get an armored bus back in the wasteland." In another tweet, they showcased the T-60 armor of the Brotherhood of Steel in a 2-second trailer. They also released a snapshot of a character similar looking to Drift, a legendary skin from purchasing the Season 5 Battle Pass. Look ahead for a sandy and wild season, y'all. Twitch streamer Marble managed to beat Mario 64 without using the A button. Yes, that's right. No jumping. This challenge, dubbed the A button challenge, or ABC for short, is incredibly complicated. It uses game mechanics and glitches found in the game over the decades spanning its release since 1996. Bismuth created a 5-hour-long video explaining the method. I couldn't even imagine the calculations, milliseconds, frames, etc. that go into this kind of run. It's insane. Not using the jump button in a Mario game it's crazy. From one gamer to another, my hat goes off to you for real. Mad respect. And finally, Twitch is revamping the content preferences. You can now choose to hide sexual content, drugs, alcohol, tobacco, gambling, violent videos, profanity and vulgarity, mature related games, and even blur sexual thumbnails, all controlled by individual buttons. That's pretty cool. So that's it for the news today. Now, we will get into our interview with HelloHunni. All right, we are here with one of my favorite streamers. Her name is HelloHunni. She is awesome. She is amazing. She's spontaneous. She's not afraid to get a little dirty. Trust me, I've seen her. I've seen her streams. She's honoring. But it's enough about that. I'm gonna give the floor over to Honey. And Honey, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hello, I'm Honey. I stream over on Twitch, and I also attempt to make some content on YouTube. But I just I'm 29. I'm about to be 30. Wow, I'm
Oh,
like I know, ew, 30.
it's not that bad.
No, yeah, I love to stream. I love to scream. Halloween's my favorite. And I usually play horror games and yeah, I don't know. I'm just really happy to be here.
I know you stream a lot of Resident Evil. What's your favorite Resident Evil game?
Oh, I have streamed a lot of Resident Evil actually. I think I still have like a couple more to go. I have yet to play Resident Evil 0, but so far I think my favorite's probably the original Resident Evil 4. It's just so fun and I really love the atmosphere, and I know I'm also going to get a lot of hate for this, but I I really liked Resident Evil 6, and a lot of people in the fandom hate Resident Evil 6 because they think it's bad. It's like you play different characters and you play different stories and whatever, and
Kind of like
I
a
really
sellout
like.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
sorry, go ahead.
no. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I never really made it past Resident Evil 3. Now I did play Zero, and I will tell you Zero is awesome. If you like Resident Evil 1, you'll like Resident Evil 0. It's like
Oh,
right before
nice.
Resident Evil 1
Mm,
or something like that.
mm,
But yeah, no, it is fun. I have it on Xbox.
nice. But yeah, I definitely am gonna check out Resident Evil Zero as soon as I'm done streaming Fallout. But as for Resident Evil 6, I actually didn't like it at first until one of my viewers, Ilmet. Hi Ilmet, if you're listening. They called Jake a dirty rat man and that they love them so much. And I was like, oh my God, you're so right. Jake is a dirty rat man with a slutty little waist, and I love him so much. And then I really started loving Resident Evil 6.
Did you say a slutty little waist?
Yes.
That's what I thought you
Jake is
said.
such a dirty man with a slutty little waist, and he's so stupid. I love him.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Is,
Yeah. So
is he like one of the Stars guys or like Raccoon Police or what is he?
he is actually, I think he's Adam Wesker's son, and he's a bad boy. He's a rebel,
That'd be
and
interesting.
his blood has the antivirus, or the antivirus too. I believe it's the T virus in Resident Evil 6. And so they're trying to get him to give his blood for antibodies, and they're just like, you could literally save the world, and he's like, I want $1 billion. I don't remember how much he wants.
Give it to him.
But
God dang.
I know. But they're like, what? You want like all this money for what? Like you're gonna save the world? And he's like, give me all the money. But stuff goes awry, and he kind of has some character development, relatively speaking, and it's good. I really like Resident Evil 6, and then Chris is in it too, and oh my God.
Chris was awesome.
Anyways, yeah, Chris is awesome.
I used to love using his gun in Resident Evil 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you said you were streaming Fallout. How long have you been playing Fallout?
I've been playing Fallout for like 3 weeks now. 2 weeks. I'm not good at Fallout. I started with Fallout 4, which I thought was like the Fallout you're supposed to start with. But I don't know why I thought that, because it's literally the fourth in the series. But I don't know. I mean, there's like it kind of sets up with like the big blast, and like you go underground and whatever. But I'm not like, I love playing horror games and I love playing all these different types of games, but I'm not like good at them. I especially am not good at Fallout. I've maybe done like 3 missions in the 3 weeks that I've been playing it. Most of the time has been me dying and not even knowing how to use like perks and level ups. But it's a good time. I mean, we have a good time. We laugh, and then
Yeah.
we get discouraged, and then we play Britney Spears, and then I win, and then it's good.
I had
So
I had a good time watching you try your damnedest to knock out those skull guys. That was pretty funny.
the scummer,
You
dude.
threw everything at them.
I threw everything at them, and I died like 1,000 times. And like I threw probably like 10 Molotov cocktails at them, and they still did not die. It literally took me so long. And my chat was like, honey, do you ever think that maybe you're like under leveled? And I'm like, oh, you're right. Like, oh, no, 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 no. So yeah, it turns out I'm chronically under leveled, and I'm chronically bad with like ammo management, which is like something that you need to have when playing horror games or just any
Yeah, you
games
should
that
have
have
learned that playing
guns.
Resident Evil of all games.
You would think after playing like a bunch of Resident Evil games and streaming for a couple years, I would have something to show for it, but I have no skills to show for it. So like, I still am bad at it, and I still just am like, why am I so bad? And then eventually I beat it after a year of playing one game, but it's fine.
Well, you got That means you got just almost 50 weeks left for this one.
Yeah, I know. I'm just gonna be here forever.
What is your favorite funny story about yourself?
My favorite funny story about myself.
Yes.
I'm gonna sound. I don't. I'm gonna sound like self-deprecating, but like I don't think I'm that funny. So like I don't know like my I don't know my I don't well actually I have a really funny story. This has nothing to do with Twitch or streaming or anything. Back when I lived in California with my best friend Grackle, you might see him on my streams. Grackle and I lived together, and we lived in this small little tiny studio apartment in like the most dangerous part of Long Beach. I mean, gunshots would happen and fireworks would happen. And I swear sometimes they shot fireworks to hide gunshots. It was an absolute nightmare.
Mm.
However, one day, I was working at Disney, and I was working all day, and I came home and Grackle was already home. And he had this little box with him, and it was like a cardboard box, probably about a foot by a foot, whatever. Grackle's like, honey, come look in this box. And I was like, what? And I open it, and there's this tiny little like emaciated kitten, and it was so sweet. And somebody had just dropped this box in front of PetSmart, like in front of them,
Mm.
and they like drove off. And so the PetSmart people took all of the kittens except this one, because this one was like under the flap at the bottom and they didn't see it. And so
Oh.
you know, they were going to go throw the box away, and Aiden heard like a little meow, and Aiden brought it home. We ended up naming that cat Mimu. Don't ask me why. Anyways,
That's cute.
Mimu, M like ELU, Mimu. Anyways, the cat's name now is Kiki, but that was the original name that we had given her before we had to rehome her. But the funny part of this is, when I had woke, I don't know if I want to tell. Okay, so I also subsequently worked at Target at the same time, and we had Mimu for maybe about a couple months. And Mimu went from this tiny little shy little kitten to an absolute just mad lass. She was so hyper, she was so bitey, she was all over the place.
Mm.
She was a ninja. I would wake up and I'd get out of bed and I would like check the ground before like stepping on the ground.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't see her anywhere. And then I would go to stand up and I'd step on her because she would just appear. Anyways, one morning it was like 7 a.m. I woke up late for my shift at Target because I was supposed to be there by like 7:30. I didn't wake up until 7. And I had to get dressed. I had to take a shower, whatever. Anyways, I ran to the bathroom, and I didn't see Mimu anywhere. And I start to go to the bathroom, and she like jumps into the toilet as I'm like going, and then she screams, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm peeing on my cat right now. And she's like screaming, and she falls into the toilet, and she's all like wet, and she has like pee all over her, and I'm like, what the moo? And so I turn on the shower, and I turn it on, and like I'm holding her, and she is pulling my arm up. She is like clawing me, she's biting me. I'm holding her with one arm as tight as I can in the shower head, just like grabbing Dawn dish soap and like washing her, and she's like screaming, and I'm like, I don't fuck,
I gotta get the pee off.
I know. And she's like, anyways, finally I cleaned her up, and then I set her down next to like a little heater, and Grackle, who was in the room, like, what the hell's going on? He like wakes up. I was like, I just peed on her cat. What the hell? And he's like, what? And I'm like, I'll have to explain later. And I ran out, and I was like 30 minutes late to work, but it's okay. It was an absolute nightmare. So I don't know if it's that funny, but it happens.
It's pretty funny. You should after that you should have named the cat Pimu.
Pimu! God, I should have. Instead of Kiki, I'll name her Pee-Pee.
Poor cat. I can just imagine your friend just sitting there waiting all day for you to come home to explain why the fuck peed on the cat.
I know, I did, and he was like, okay, tell me. And I told him. He was laughing so hard. It was so insane. She just popped out of nowhere, man. And I once you're going, you're going, Yeah, so anyways.
You jumped in there. I mean, I was already in the action, and you just went for it. So I
don't know why she jumped into the toilet. Why did she do that? Those cats.
What is the most important thing you've learned in your streaming career?
The most important thing that I have learned in my streaming career are a couple of things that I think hold equal importance. Number one, if you start, because I know for me personally, like I have always loved entertaining people from when I was like a child. I did plays or I auditioned for musicals, but I would always audition and then I would get too scared and I wouldn't actually do it. Which is I remember auditioning for Annie and I got in and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Anyways, whatever.
Yay, this is
The
awesome.
it's
I'm out.
I know. The unfortunate side is I had a negative self-image of myself for like a lot of my life, and I always thought that other people had that same negative self-image of me. But when the world opens up when you do. So, and most people don't actually think the way that you're thinking about yourself. And streaming on Twitch has really allowed me to kind of open up out of myself and really just realize that, like, the right people who want to be there will be there. You will attract the right people to your stream. And people are not thinking what you think about yourself. So just shut up, stream, just be yourself and have a good time. And consistency, be consistent about it. That's like the number one thing, is just being consistent. And people will come. If you stream it, they will come. So just most people, those are the two things. Most people don't think what you're thinking about yourself and are happy to be there, and also be consistent with your streams, because consistency is the most important thing.
Yeah, I always see streaming kind of like a game, kind of like Diablo. Like you're there, yeah, like your viewers are your items and your levels and all that stuff that you have to farm, and it takes a while to get all that stuff. You have to farm for hours and hours and hours to get dedicated people to come to your stream, and those are the ones that keep you
Yeah.
afloat.
But
And
also too, like I also have a really fun time streaming and playing video games. So like when I was a kid, I would always play video games with my brother, or my brother would play video games and I'd watch, and vice versa, whatever. And it's just playing video games and having somebody there like to play with is so fun. But I play because I stream because like it's something I've always wanted to do in terms of like entertaining people, but I also am there for me time and to like dedicated time where like I can just like relax and like play video games, and anybody can join if they want. And it's fun to kind of create that space where it doesn't necessarily matter how many people that I have watching me. I'm like having a good time because it's fun for me.
what's the biggest challenge that you face? I don't think I asked that yet.
The biggest challenge that I face is so like okay, so the biggest thing I learned was most people don't think what you think about yourself, and also remaining consistent. The biggest challenge is thinking what I think about myself and remaining consistent.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it can be hard to be consistent with streaming. I also think one of the bigger challenges that I've like had to face was learn the type of like what type of environment did I want to create, and if I'm going to be streaming and I'm creating a place, do I have to create a brand for myself in the sense that like when people come here, what can they expect? And what type of message do I want to send to people? And what kind of person do I want to be when I'm streaming? Do I just want to be somebody that just sits there and is all quiet and like, hey guys, welcome, and anyways, yeah. So I would say that those are some of like the biggest struggles that I've had, is just just remaining consistent, but also being okay with being seen by other people and just being myself. And that in and of itself has been, and creating a place that I'm proud about. Creating a place that I like. I'm proud of the people that have come and that I've curated, so that people feel like it's a safe space, and that's been fun. I've really enjoyed that.
Who has been the most influential person in your content creation career, and how have they impacted you?
First and foremost, I would probably say Grackle. Grackle has been they're through thick and thin. Grackle's been there for me pretty much since high school. I met him when I was a sophomore in high school, and that was in 2010. So I'm dating myself here. I mean, I already said I'm almost 30, so whatever, but and Grackle's always been there for me no matter what. Just unfailingly and irrevocably just my best friend in the whole world. So he has really been the one that has really always told me that it's something that I can do and that it's something I should do, and that he's always been super supportive. So I'm really grateful for him. Also, Stacy plays on YouTube. She is not like me at all in the sense of like streaming horror games. She plays Minecraft games, but she's my comfort like content creator, and she's such a fun person to watch. And then Shell Shock too, actually. Shell
Shell
Shock,
Shock's awesome.
Shell Shock is awesome. Shell Shock joined my streams before I became an affiliate, and he was very kind, and he was always like engaging with me, and he always was very reassuring, like, oh my god, this is so funny. And I didn't ask for that, but he just naturally said it. And then I checked out his channel, and it he was very motivating. He was very like, no, you absolutely should stream or continue streaming and just be consistent with it. And now I have a bunch of friends from his community like you and Knox and Shellshock and all that. So I'm
Yeah,
really grateful for Shellshock as well. So I'd
and
say those three have been really like people I really look up to.
yeah, Knox and Shell Shock are both really cool, accepting people. And
Yeah.
spoiler alert for anyone who's made it this far into the stream, Shell Shock will actually be our next guest on the next podcast. But
Yay.
anyways, back to Honey here. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
I see myself a star, baby, at Hollywood. I'm just kidding.
The fuck was that?
That was me. I'm a star, baby. I'm going to Hollywood. I don't know.
That
I
didn't even
don't
sound like you. That almost scared me. I was like, who jumped in here? What's going on?
No, that was me. I can do a lot of different voices. But anyways, yeah, I don't, I see myself happy. I see myself reaching 1,000 followers on Twitch, which would be exciting.
Nice.
Um,
Future goals. That's
and
good.
I see myself just continuing to stream, and I also see myself at a different job. Like the job I'm at right now, I'm not happy. I don't want to go into all of that, but it's like
Hmm.
it's a whole stress. So I see myself much happier. I see myself streaming a little more. Hopefully I can just do streaming and like content creation as like my main source of income, because it's genuinely fun for me just to go online and have fun and like laugh with people and make friends. Like that's what I love to do. So hopefully I see myself there. We'll see.
What keeps you motivated to keep going on then?
It's fun for like it's like that feeling of when you're playing Minecraft and it's like you've been playing it for like a couple hours, but you don't want to stop, and then you're playing for like 10 hours, and it's like, oh my god, I just want to keep playing. Like it's just fun for me. I actually enjoy streaming, and it's like something I look forward to. So I don't really feel like I need all of this motivation, because I don't care necessarily how many followers. I mean, I have to set goals for myself. Like that's fun for me. But I also just go on here to have fun, and it's like an outlet for me. It's such a positive outlet. I look forward to laughing with Ilmet and Shellshock and you and Manic and Pigeon and
Yeah.
Grackle and Matthias and everybody else and Sigil. And, so I really look forward to. And sorry if I missed anybody, Knox, and I don't want to go through my whole Twitch list and like name
All of
everybody.
Honey's community. She's talking to all of Honey's community.
I am, and I love you, all of you guys so much. So I feel like I have to name every single person. Dustin,
You
Swift,
might be here for a
everybody.
while because you got some
I know,
members.
but I it's just really fun for me. It's like it's like, am I motivated to go hang out with my best friends? Like, would that be motivation, or just like something that you want to do to go have fun? So
Hmm.
it's fun for me. I really enjoy it. It's not for everybody, but I it's just really fun for me. I love to go on and play Resident Evil and just like laugh for a couple hours and then go to bed.
Yeah. If money wasn't an option, what would you do every day? If you didn't have to worry about money, like if nothing cost money and you just go out there and do whatever, what would you be doing every day?
I would be in a cottage on like an acre of land or a couple acres, and I would plant myself an apple orchard so I can make my favorite applesauce in the whole world. I would probably have a couple of cats, or maybe like do like a fostering cat system. And I would love to decorate my house for like Halloween and like build like different like haunted houses for like the neighborhood people to come and like go through. And I so to answer, and a garden. I see myself as a 90-year-old lady owning cats and in like a cottage and being a witch in a house making stews and potions and shit, and you know, just being that one weird lady on the street, not really doing anything except just like living my silly little life. That's all I want to do. And
Yeah.
stream, of course, like I'd be streaming too. I'd be like, welcome back to my stream.
My pretties.
My pretties.
Speaking of Halloween, like I assume you like oh a Tim Burton movie.
I love
Um,
Tim Burton.
I can't believe Nightmare Before Christmas. I assume you like that
Yes,
movie, right? Okay.
I
Well,
do.
I just thought about this method. I thought it'd be really cool. Like you could, you know how bonsai trees, like that method how you can make how you can mold the tree or shape the tree to the way you want
Yeah.
it.
Hmm.
You could totally take a Christmas tree as it's growing, take the top, bend it over, and then curl it. And as it grows, it could turn into a Tim Burton Christmas tree that's curled over, really bad, kind of gnarled looking, and put nothing but Halloween and Nightmare Before Christmas decorations all over it. Oh, that'd be cool.
Oh my god, you absolutely can. I don't know how, like, I don't know about the malleability of, is that a word? Malleability
Um,
of like
I think
evergreens
so.
and like pine trees versus like bonsai trees, but if you could, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I think bonsai is a technique. I don't think it's necessarily a tree. It might be, but I think bonsai is the technique. I don't know what tree they use. I could be wrong on that though. But yeah, I do believe bonsai is the technique of doing it.
No, I think it is a tree,
It
but I
might be.
think there is a technique for it as well. But I think it is like an actual tree. Not to be like
No, you're good.
contrarian here, but
No, you're
like
good. No, it's all about knowledge here. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
yeah.
Like I love being proved wrong because that means that I just learned something. So that's how I try to see it. Knowledge is power. Take
Yeah, I'm probably wrong. I mean, I could just like look it up. I mean, bonsai, all things bonsai.co.uk.
a lot.
I don't, I know, like what? I don't.
But I am curious.
It is often thought that bonsai is a species of tree. This is not true. In fact, bonsai is a method of growing trees, which aims to create an image of large mature tree, but in miniature. So you can create a bonsai oak tree, for example, by taking an existing oak tree and styling it. So you were right. I
Yes,
was
it is
wrong.
scenic. Cool.
Well, that's the stream. Goodbye. Just kidding. Kidding.
How do you plan for rest and self care while you're tackling streaming, job, and everyday life?
Well, my job and everything is so stressful. My current job is really, really stressful. I'm in high stress, like 10 hours a day for 4 days out of the week. But I think of streaming as restful for me. I am in a state of rest when I am streaming. It's fun for me. It's like an escape for me to go on and stream and play some Resident Evil and talk with people, and but also like I have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday off, and while I am now my grandpa's caretaker and things have been busier since my dad had passed away, I still have time to myself to just relax and maybe go on VR chat or go for a walk. I still walk with my mom. We walk about like 4 or 5 miles every night. So I think it's really important for me that I still take time for myself and to spend time with my loved ones, which I absolutely do. It's just hard to do on Wednesday through Saturday, but I'm looking to change that here soon. So sometimes I'll be real. Sometimes there is not a balance. Like real life, sometimes it's like, fuck, I'm tired and I can't find a balance. Like this sucks. Like what the
Yeah.
hell? Sometimes it's just hard to find a balance and I'm not perfect by any sense. I'm still looking for balance.
Yeah,
But
balance is hard.
sometimes I find a balance but sometimes I really don't and I sleep like 5 hours a night throughout the week and I'm really stupid tired and I'm like, wow, I feel horrible right now. But
Mm.
but it's fine.
You said you mentioned you take care of your grandpa. Is that something you want to talk about?
Yeah, I can talk about my grandpa.
Okay.
So I love my grandpa. He's like my little child, my little man child. I have to take him out for enrichment. I have to like make sure he's fed and clothed well, and I moved him into this 65 and over like apartment community, and everybody's so nice. And
Mm.
I'm like, okay, Grandpa, we're gonna go make some friends today. We're gonna go to like coffee hour. And he's like, I don't wanna go to coffee hour. And I'm like, oh, come on, they're gonna love you. Let's go. And so I'm like, come on, let's get your jacket on. Let's get, he's my little man, even though he's 87.
That should be out.
But yeah, but I do take care of him, and I part time live in that 65 and over community, and I've already made friends with the old people that live there. There's quite a bit of old people that live there, but there's also a lesbian couple I made friends with, and they're so cool. They're so cool. I was not expecting to like meet LGBTQ people at a senior living center in Idaho,
Yeah.
in Eagle, mind you, which is like one of the more conservative areas in Idaho. So like this is a super LGBTQ friendly like apartment living complex and everybody's super chill and there's not like any uppity old people who are like too much noise. Get out of here, you young piece of shit. I don't know. But
I,
it's just fun. I really enjoy spending time with my grandpa and he's such an easygoing old man, but he's also kind of like so complacent and so easygoing that like if I don't take care of him, he'll just like lay down and die.
mm. I
Okay, maybe he won't die, but like he just won't take care of himself. Like he can still walk, he can still do stuff for himself, but he just is like, for example, if I don't wake up and I'm like, I am hungry and I'm like, Grandpa, I'm gonna make breakfast. Do you want something? If it was up to him, he just wouldn't eat breakfast, and then he wouldn't eat lunch, and then he wouldn't eat dinner, and then he'd go to bed. I'm
mm.
like, Grandpa, did you eat yesterday? Well, I don't know. I had coffee and I'm fine. I'm just not really that hungry because he doesn't want to get up and do stuff.
Yeah.
But I, so like he's just kind of like whatever. But if I make him food, he's like, oh, okay, I'll eat. And he just doesn't. He's so like chill about everything, almost too chill.
Yeah. I have one more question before we probably wrap this up. I'm gonna take too much of
Okay,
your time, and I love this interview stuff. I could do it all day. I really could.
it's fun.
Um, what is your favorite quote and why?
Um,
If it's your own quote that you go by, like your own motto, that's fine too.
Miss Juicy, you look like a rotten mango. Evidently, you don't know what a rotten mango looks like because there ain't nothing rotten about Miss Juicy, baby. Just kidding. That's not the quote.
That was not the type of quote I thought I was thinking of.
Like, let me impart you with something like really uplifting and like whatever. And then I repeat something from Little Woman Atlanta by Miss Juicy. No,
Miss
that's not.
Juicy.
I know. She's so funny. I feel like I constantly have like 1,000 different quotes and all of these things going on in my life. I this is really short. It's not a quote that's like said by one person or anything, but I just really like the phrase I love you. I think it's important to say I love you to your friends. It's important to show more love to people. And it's important to say I love you to yourself too. And I really like to treat people with love and compassion because I think that people need a lot more of it nowadays and just in general. So I just the phrase "I love you." That's my favorite because there's so much different meaning behind it. It really is something that just feels good to say, and it feels good to have said to you. So I think that's what I'm going to say. I love you. So that's it.
It's one of those things. Like even as a friend, if you could sit there and actually say to that person, "I love you," there's
Yeah,
automatically a connection, especially if that other person can say it back, even if it's just
it's true.
just a mutual understanding.
Yeah, I always tell
Yeah.
everybody that watches me, I love you. Like at when it's time to, like I'm like, all right, guys, have a wonderful day. I love you. Please take care of yourself. Like it's
Yeah.
important to tell people that you love them, and people need to feel loved because that's a basic human necessity. That's why we're here, right? Is to love and to be loved. And I think that it's important to express that to people. And I think people get too caught up in the whys and all these different things, and I think it's just more important to just love one another. So
Well,
yeah,
honey,
that's my
I
favorite.
love you. Okay.
I love you too.
And unfortunately, we don't have too much time, so we got to wrap this up. I
Yeah.
have a blast with you all the time. I love listening to you. I love watching you. But before we go, why don't you tell everybody your handles and your schedule for streaming and stuff like that?
All right, what's up, you guys? Be sure to become the follow fam and the notification fam. All right, no. My handle is HelloHunni. That's HelloHunni. My stream schedule currently is Sunday through Tuesday, 9:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time until whenever. I usually stream for 2 to 2.5 hours, 3 hours if it's Resident Evil because I usually get caught up in it. So yeah, that's where you can find me. And my YouTube is Hello Honey, TikTok is Hello Honey. So most of my things are Hello Honey.
Again, thank you again so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Oh,
And
thank
I
you for
wish you the
having
best.
me.
Yeah. And I love you to death. And I can't wait to see you stream again.
All right, I love you too, and I love all of you for listening. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Have a
Bye
wonderful
bye.
day. Goodbye.
I wanted to thank you guys again for listening. If you ever want to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me a lot of times on my Discord. You can find my Discord through my link tree. Through there, you'll find a category dedicated specifically for the Casa De Ludus podcast, where you can basically ask to be on the podcast. It shows you all the stuff you need to do so. You can go in there and support. Really appreciate the support. If y'all go and join my Discord and follow my other links and also my guest links, of course, too. Um, Again, thank you for listening. I hope you guys stick in for this Sunday's episode, which will star Shell Shock. He's a streamer. He is a loving husband, and he is a great influence and an amazing friend. I've been friends with him for years. I hope you all have a good day, and game on. Peace.